something funny. When we was talking in like the 12th round, I think the 12th or 11th, we was talking right? But he like, you ain't gonna win. I said, why not? What you talking about? He like, they ain't gonna give it to you.
The controversy over Tank Davis' majority draw against Lamont Roach is escalating, quickly becoming one of the biggest scandals in boxing this year. What should have been a clear-cut fight result has now spiraled into a heated debate over corruption, favoritism, and whether outside forces work to protect Tank Davis.
Whilst punches are being thrown, it has to be a knockdown. I've heard some people saying, "Oh, that he should be disqualified. He went back to the corner." I don't buy that, to be honest with you. I mean, I think that's a warning, but it's a bit of a bizarre situation.
Fans are still in shock over the events of the 9th round. Referee Steve Willis initially appeared to start a count, but then hesitated and ultimately refused to call it a knockdown, leaving everyone baffled. That single moment changed the entire momentum of the fight. Now, speculation is growing that Willis may have been pressured, or even bribed, to ensure Davis held on to his title.
You take the knee, man, if you take the knee in the 90s, or in 2000, you're taking the point off. That's the bottom line. You're taking the point off. I don't know what happened.
Fans are still reeling from the controversy in the 9th round. Referee Steve Willis seemed ready to start a count, but hesitated before ultimately ruling out a knockdown, leaving the crowd in disbelief. That pivotal moment shifted the entire fight's momentum. Now, growing speculation suggests Willis may have been influenced, or even bribed, to protect Davis' title.
I mean, the only reason they gave you the fight was because you would make more money as a champion, but there's no way it's a draw, and they didn't call it a knockdown. If they called a knockdown, you lost that.
Roach landed a clean shot that staggered Davis, forcing him to drop to a knee. The crowd erupted, expecting the referee to call a knockdown. But Steve Willis, known for his animated reactions, did something completely out of character. He hesitated. For a brief moment, he seemed to start a count, then abruptly stopped. Instead of ruling it a knockdown, he waved it off as if nothing happened. The commentators were stunned. Fans in the arena reacted with confusion. Social media exploded with outrage, demanding answers. How could this not be a knockdown? The replay showed it clearly. Davis took a knee after getting hit clean. Yet Willis acted as if it never happened. When the scorecards were revealed, that moment proved crucial. Davis escaped with a majority draw, rather than what many believe should have been a loss.
Big names, so they overblow it?
I think so, yeah, and I feel like people just don't like Tank to a point where any little thing, just because he ain't knock him out, he probably feel as though that he lost, and he didn't, or it was a draw,
Now, even more shocking details are emerging. Allegations have surfaced that Steve Willis was offered a $2 million bribe to protect Davis. At first, it seemed like nothing more than conspiracy talk from frustrated fans. But then, boxing insiders began whispering the same thing. Some claim that people close to Davis' camp were in contact with the referee before the fight. That could explain why Tank confidently told Lamont Roach that no matter what he did, he wouldn't be given the win. Others argue that Willis' hesitation in the 9th round wasn't just a mistake. It looked like a moment of doubt, as if he knew he couldn't afford to make the wrong call. If these allegations are true, this would be one of the most blatant cases of corruption boxing has seen in years.
Honestly, I thought I should have won without that being counted a knockdown. Look, I ain't the ref. I ain't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, if he had to wipe sweat out his eye, he had to wipe sweat out his eye. But the rules do state, if you voluntarily take a knee, then that's an automatic 8 count. But it is what it is. I wasn't relying on that. I was relying.
Things became even more suspicious when the World Boxing Association rushed to defend Willis' decision. In a move that only fueled the controversy, the WBA published an article on its official website insisting that Willis' call was justified. From our perspective, Willis' decision was not unreasonable or unjustifiable. No knockdown should have been recorded, the article stated. That statement alone sparked outrage. It felt like the WBA was trying to shut down the controversy before it spiraled out of control. But the backlash was immediate. Fans weren't buying it. Boxing analysts called it absurd. Former fighters openly criticized the WBA for seemingly protecting Davis. Within hours, the article was being ripped apart across social media, and the pressure on the WBA only intensified.
It was a close fight.
I'm surprised the way Lamont fought. I knew Lamont was going to come to fight. It was the opportunity of a lifetime. He did a good job. He fought a great fight.
What went wrong with Tank Davis? I mean, I was
what was wrong with him?
Out.
Every night in boxing is not your best. You feel me?
The backlash grew so intense that WBA President Gilberto Mendoza was forced to take down the article and issue a public apology. But even his apology only raised more questions. Mendoza posted a message to Lamont Roach Jr. on X, saying, "Champ, as president of the WBA, I must apologize for the opinion of a collaborator on the website. We believed in you since day one, knew you would have a marvelous performance and feel proud of you as champion." That wording immediately raised eyebrows. If this was just the opinion of a random contributor, why was it published on the WBA's official website? And why was the WBA so quick to defend Willis in the first place? Mendoza also reached out to Roach's father, who is both his manager and trainer, with a similar message, but the damage was already done. To many, this looked like a botched cover-up. The WBA appeared to be protecting Davis, and when the backlash became overwhelming, they scrambled to distance themselves from it. At this point, all eyes were on Gervonta "Tank" Davis. With bribery accusations swirling, fans wanted to hear his side of the story. But when Tank finally spoke out, he neither denied nor admitted anything. Instead, he fired back at critics. "I don't know anything about that, but look, they've been hating on me since day one. Y'all acting like I ain't never had to fight for my respect. They just mad cause I ain't lose my belt asterisk," Davis said. He also insisted he had no problem running it back with Roach. "If they want a rematch, we can run it back. I ain't ducking nobody, but if that were true, why hasn't a rematch already been announced?" Some believe Davis' camp is stalling because they know Roach is a real threat.
I'm not sure, bro. I'm definitely not sure, but hopefully we can get it before. It probably won't be this year.
Meanwhile, the New York State Athletic Commission is being dragged into the controversy. The NYSAC was supposed to use instant replay on the night of the fight, but for some reason, it never happened. Their official explanation: technical issues. That excuses only fuel more suspicion. What kind of technical issue conveniently occurs at the exact moment when instant replay could have changed the outcome of a major title fight? Some fans are now calling for a full investigation, and rumors are swirling that Roach's team is considering legal action to challenge the fight's result. If that happens, things could get even ugly.
How do you assess his power after being in there for 12?
He got decent power. He got decent power for sure. I ain't gonna say it's exaggerated. I told you I got a chin. I ain't going like that.
With controversy still raging, the pressure for a rematch is growing by the day. Even WBA President Gilberto Mendoza acknowledged that the organization is now considering pushing for a second fight, saying, "I have asked the WBA committee to follow up on Lamont Roach Jr.'s direct rematch case closely. However, we believe the parties, as expressed in the post-fight interview, will amicably agree to run it back. But many aren't convinced. The WBA has already shown where its loyalty lies, and some believe they'll do whatever it takes to ensure Davis doesn't lose. Even if a rematch does happen, what's stopping the same shady politics from interfering again?"
People want to discredit Tank, and he's still a pound-for-pound fighter.
Yeah. What do you think about that fight that happened? You thought it was just an off night, or?
Everybody has an off night. Everybody has an off night. Shit, I had a off night with Cruz.